Hey everybody, Chris here. In this video, we're going to talk about Dogecoin recovery, what that looks like going forward, and we're going to look at Bitcoin going forward as well. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel, hit that little notification bell too. You can be notified when the videos come out as well as when I do live streams. And why do I talk about Bitcoin too? Well, Bitcoin is still almost 60% of the total market cap of all of crypto. So pretty much as Bitcoin goes, so goes the rest of the market. We know Dogecoin always has a chance to go on its own. It has happened many times before, and we're patiently waiting for that again. There is some big news about X and cash tags trading directly on X. That looks like that is coming soon. There's other news to cover, so let's get into it. Let me show you the news in the charts. I'll show you what I'm looking at. And we start here with the current Dogecoin price at 10 cents. That's right, we have 10-cent Dogecoin. Came up this morning earlier, came back and dipped just below 10, and here we are making that next move up. Will Dogecoin be able to hold this 10-cent support line? We will be watching that through the weekend. Again, Dogecoin from after the big dip on the 5th of February came up and recovered over 10 cents and then was in this downward sloping resistance line here for a week. We've been in this downward sloping resistance. Finally on Friday, we broke out with a nice little relief rally. And now we're looking at the continuation. Bitcoin. Bitcoin did hit 70K this morning and is now pulling back a bit. So we've got Bitcoin pulling down while Dogecoin is trying to move up at the same time. So Doge is fighting against Bitcoin. Bitcoin, again, also after that February 5th dip, did have its own downward sloping resistance line. So this has the makings of a relief rally, which of course I called over a month ago that we would be having this. And we're finally there. Now it's only a little, I mean, you zoom out and you say it's just this little bitty move here for Bitcoin and Doge. It really is. We got a ways to go on recovery. But I'll tell you in just a little bit what I think going forward if you haven't heard me talk about it before. But let's begin with the news. This is the big one this morning. X to launch smart cash tags for direct stock and crypto trading. This is X head of product Nikita Beer announced Saturday that smart cash tags will arrive in a couple of weeks, enabling seamless trading linked to ticker symbols, real-time prices, and posts. This is going to be interesting to see how they do that. Are they using a third-party exchange in order to make these trades? How is this going to work? This we have to wait and see. And this is Nikita Beer here. I generally want crypto to proliferate on X, but applications that create incentives to spam, raid, and harass random users is not the way. It meaningfully degrades the experience for millions of people only to enrich a few people. And yes, we are launching a number of features in a couple of weeks, including smart cash tags that will enable you to trade stocks and crypto directly from the timeline. So pretty exciting. And we have noticed a lot of these other random tokens being proliferated and marketed across the X platform has really died down. At least I'm not seeing them on my timeline. So I think that that is getting suppressed. And of course with Doge tipping reminds everyone, hear me out, X money needs Dogecoin to serve all X users worldwide and become the place where all the money is. After yesterday's announcement that Elon made from the night before from the XAI all hands talking about X money and its importance. We don't know when that's coming either, but it looks like all of this is being built. And will Dogecoin become part of that? That's the big question, and that's what could actually move Dogecoin. We look at Dogecoin price prediction. Doge tests critical 10-cent support as analysts eye short-term bounce. So this is where we are right now. As Chris predicted, we would be in this stage where we would get this short-term bounce. And we cover that again in more detail during my live stream. So make sure you're subscribed and you got your notifications on so that you know when I go live. You can ask your questions. We have a great Q&A during the lives talking about Doge and meme coins, other cryptos, and even finances with gold and silver and stocks and all of that as well. So come join in. We know we're in a bear market. We're trying to see if we can have this short-term bounce and a relief rally in the midst of a bear market. We also have this news from the Netherlands. The Dutch House passes 36% tax on unrealized crypto and investment gains. So this is something that a year and a half ago, we had Kamala Harris here in the United States having initially as part of her platform was taxing unrealized gains. That means you haven't sold yet, but wherever you are year per year in terms of your holdings, you could get taxed on that. Of course, that was met with huge opposition, and then she didn't talk about it again. This seems to be this kind of world economic thing, though, that is being talked about in various countries, and now the Netherlands is going to do this? And then, of course, you have the cartoon where the immigrants come in and all the other people leave, and that's what's going to happen to the Netherlands. If this is true, those that are heavily invested, they're going to leave. They're just going to leave. So that's pretty crazy what's going on in the world, no doubt. We also have the opening of a new CME gap at 68,900, meaning at Friday's close, that was the price of Bitcoin. And if Bitcoin ends the weekend up, then we're going to have the gap. And you know those gaps love to be filled. So we will be watching that going forward as well. And J-Chain's looking for a Bitcoin entry at 69,420. Of course, that would be like a magical number, 69,420. Just having fun. I still think Bitcoin's going to be going lower as well through the summer. I'll show you that in just a little bit. A whale has opened a $93 million ETH long position with 20x leverage. And this is what we have to battle. We watch the liquidation heat maps. We watch the market makers and exchanges continuing to take out big trades like that ETH trade because they don't want those to win. Overall, the past 24 hours, we've had $311 million of liquidations. 84% of them have been short because of this run that Bitcoin has had up over 70K this morning and alts following. So that is what's happening right now. Is the shorts are losing, but these are short-term shorts. You know, we look at the chart, we look at Bitcoin here now coming back below 70K this morning, but it hasn't been that long since Bitcoin was at this price. So these are new trades that have just happened in the last few days that are getting liquidated at this price. So I don't know who's trading with all this big leverage as the prices continue to drop lower and lower in a bear market. I guess the leverage traders are trying to time the bottom and seeing whether they can take a ride up on a bigger rally with huge leverage. That's tough. That's tough. So ETH liquidation price of 1,331. That's a pretty low ETH price, I think. ETH now is at 2,000. Sort of go all the way down to 1,300. That would be a huge drop. How did they get a 20x leverage at that price? Meanwhile, the Bitcoin weekly RSI is down in a zone that we haven't seen since 2022. That was the last bear market. And actually, that wasn't the low price of Bitcoin, though. That was the initial big drop from the Luna crash. Bitcoin recovered. There was a relief rally. But then during the summer and into the fall, Bitcoin had weakness and came down even lower. Could we be seeing that same setup here, where this isn't actually the bottom at 60K, but we get a relief rally, kind of struggle through the summer, and then we actually drop lower? That is the kind of pattern that I think we could be seeing. Titan of Crypto, Washagoria, says the same thing. Here we are, down to 60K, back up, bit of a relief rally, and then we bounce down even lower. And where is that bottom price? That's no guarantee that it's going to drop lower than that. Maybe 60K was the bottom, but many others are predicting deeper prices, Even CoinMarketCap says Bitcoin price is not done capitulating yet, argues CryptoQuant, says BTC's ultimate bear market bottom is around 55K, and it may take months to form. Again, this is repeating. Of course, I've been saying this for months now, that this is how it was going to play out, and I have not been buying any crypto at these prices. I am being patient. We'll see how that plays out. Meanwhile, Dogecoin's Fear and Greed Index is still in extreme fear, down at 23. It ticked up a little bit from 21 to 22 to 23, but it is still extreme fear. Trader Tardigrade celebrating the breakout here up to 10 cents out of this descending channel. Of course, you saw mine, which was a downward sloping resistance line. Same kind of idea. RSI ticking up, a little bit of a breakout here. And this is the signs of the relief rally I've been calling for. Meanwhile, I love Dogecoin. It's just a fun thing. Doge and memes and such. And speaking of memes, can Dogecoin lead meme coins back to glory? The index that paints a gloomy story. And what is this? This is meme coins being hit harder than most cryptos. That's what happens in bear markets. We see many memes dropping to insanely low prices compared to where they've been in the past couple of years. Although large cap assets like Bitcoin, ETH, and XRP are struggling after recent pullbacks, data shows that meme tokens have been on a long stretch of weakness. This persistent underperformance is clearly reflected in the meme coin index. Yes, that index is market cap weighted, which means larger assets such as Dogecoin, which is the only meme coin, and of course the largest market cap of any of these tokens, or all of these tokens on this list. Dogecoin carries more influence over its movement. As it stands, the meme coin index is at a one-year low, down 66%. Down 66%. And the data shows a consistent decline of lower highs and lower lows since July of 2025. Now we know in July of 2025, we did have Dogecoin continuing to move up August, September, right until early October, but the rest of the meme tokens were dropping. So, and it's been only 2 months into 2026, the meme coin index is already down over 22% year to date. Dogecoin itself is only down about 14%, which means that 8% difference means meme tokens, the smaller memes, are getting crushed this year so far. There may be a few of them that are doing okay. You don't know which ones those are going to be. They're going to be running, but that's what it looks like. So can Dogecoin lead meme coins back to glory? Is this going to be the big recovery? Is really going to be led by Dogecoin? Since it has the highest percentage weighting, thus a greater impact on the performance of the meme coin index. But Dogecoin's price momentum over recent weeks has been tough. But we will see whether that breakout of Dogecoin, if we get, again, a nice relief rally here, that will certainly get excitement going into other meme tokens as well. Finally, just a little bit of news. Kevin O'Leary just won a $2.8 million defamation lawsuit against Ben Armstrong, the BitBoy. This goes back to 2019 when Ben was making all these accusations about Kevin O'Leary being a murderer and all this stuff. It just like, it's all catching up to him, the poor guy. But that's him, and that's just a little bit of news that happened. And of course, a win is a win, but Kevin unfortunately will never see the money because BitBoy is bit broke. And of course, Jay Chains, who used to work with him, now comes to the realization that most of us have had, and that is a sad story. Just touching on it as a piece of news. But here we have Dogecoin right now at 10 cent Dogecoin, the start of what could be a bigger relief rally going on in crypto, particularly in alts. And we will see that because Doge is up 3.5% today and Bitcoin only 1%. So Doge outperforming Bitcoin again. We're going to watch whether that continues. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about Dogecoin recovery and what's happening with Dogecoin overall. Give the video a like. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I appreciate the support. We'll see you next time.